Hello, dosto. My name is Deepak, and I'm a tax code advisor. And thank you so much for tuning into this channel in 2025. So, first of all, Happy New Year to all of you guys. I know many of you guys send me messages on WhatsApp, in emails, in social media, and I'm trying my best to respond to all of you guys. And I did to many of you, but I certainly was not able to get back to many of you guys. So, I apologize for all that in advance. Now, as I was talking to people, I got to know a lot. So, first of all, as far as tax planning is concerned, you can certainly set those meetings up in January and February, but comes March and April, that will become a little bit more difficult to do. So please, if you have high W2 income and you need to kind of figure out what we are planning on doing for 25, 26, then we should talk in January and February. So that's number one. Number two is I heard a lot of fear in people's voices during today's call, especially related to immigration. And there were some fears around valuations of market. There was some fear about real estate, and there's always that going on. So maybe we'll talk about those kind of issues a little bit later on. But let me address a little bit this immigration issue. So what people were really afraid of, people were worried that, hey, look, Trump is going to take office and he's going to get rid of H1B, or he's going to reduce it, or he's going to send people back, and that's what's going to happen. And that's why they are scared. They don't want to buy real estate because they my clients, I mean, most of them are either are creators, or they're doctors, or they're engineers, or they're business owners. Most of them. So when you buy a house in a community that is surrounded by all bunch of engineers, and next thing you're worried about H1Bs going back, I can understand that fear. I get it that these people will go back, and then inventory will increase and the price will come down, and da da da. So I get that. So I'm going to address some of these concerns and put your mind to ease. So get ready, and I'll share some other updates about what I think will probably happen with related to immigration. But first, please know that I'm not an immigration lawyer. I'm not an attorney. I'm a tax advisor. So you come to me for tax advice, nothing else. Everything else is just purely speculative in nature. Just my guesses, just my opinion. So it's, listen to it as an entertainment or education, but that's about it. That's where it ends. All right. Talk to a good immigration attorney in your area. They should be able to help you out with your immigration needs. All right. Having that said, so what's all the fuzz about? Why are people worried to begin with? Should they be worried, not worried? Let's talk about that for a second. 2016, Trump 1.0. So let's go back a little bit in time. Do you guys remember that campaign? Most of us probably already forgotten. We don't even remember what he talked about. But I'll tell you what he talked about back then. He said, look, H1B visa um, is hurting America. It's hurting how? Well, because it's taking jobs away from Americans. Uh, why? Well, Americans demand more money. And these people coming on H1B, they are able to get jobs at lower pay. So maybe, let's just say, if H1B didn't existed, maybe the pay will be 200,000. But somebody on H1B comes here and they make 100,000. So in one way, they're stealing $100,000 from somebody else who should be making. At least that's the mindset Trump came with. And he did not really find it very helpful. I think over the last 8 years, Trump learned a lot. And this year, if you remember, at the New Year's party, if you've been, following Trump, and a lot of people are right now, um, he said that, hey, I want to support talent. I want to support innovation. I want to make America strong. Um, I want to deliver innovation in this country. I want to bring this country back to where it was. I don't know how far back he's talking about, but there's a different story. But I think that in essence, what he's trying to say is that United States needs to get in front of this AI race, in front of next generation chips in space exploration, in defense technology. That's what he's talking about. So all of that is not possible without H1B. I think smart people like Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, and many other people in his administration have, opened a new doors for him, a new reality. They probably sat right next to him and said, Trump Saab, listen, I want you to understand something. If we take a look at China, which is, most Americans will say one of the biggest threat America is facing is China. Why? not because they're going to attack us, is because of their assertive policies. They can assert their power all over the world. And right now, the only thing holding them back is our influence over the world. And if China is able to show to the world that we are behind in technology, we are behind in defense, then we are going to lose our edge. We will lose our edge financially, we will lose our edge in social power, and all of a sudden, even our allies may start mingling with China. I think everybody gets that, whether you're a Democrat or Republican. If you are in America, you're an American, you get that. That's a common thought process for average American. All right. So how do we deal with that problem? Well, we deal with that problem is by building some great companies. And those companies should not just develop the products here, but they should manufacture those products here, and they should do the sales of those products here in the United States. Well, in order to do all that, where are you going to get the talent from? So one of the common reason why people hate H1B is because they say, well, H1B takes Americans' job, which is simply not true. If you take a look at every single year, there has been always more jobs. Maybe I shouldn't say always. Maybe there's sometimes not might be true, but majority of the time, is there more jobs than the H1Bs? I mean, H1, how many H1B visas are there? Like 65,000. If you have a master's degree, 20,000. So let's say 85,000. I mean, take a look at number of jobs that are even open today. They're probably way more than 85,000. So no, H1Bs do not take on other people's job. However, that's the narrative that is sold. So when people talk in bars and whatnot, especially the people who are not in IT and you know who don't even know what NVIDIA does, or who doesn't understand how the data centers work or what the nuclear energy is. Like these are the people, they have no clue about technology. So what they assume is that somebody in H1 comes here and they takes other people's job, which is for the most part is not actually true. And I think this had been made clear to Trump. Somebody probably got to him and said, Trump's up, we need H1 because we don't have enough talent in this country. We don't have enough graduates from STEM programs that can support what we are trying to do. And they probably go to Trump and say, look, take a look at what China is able to do. They were like, for example, if you've been watching news, they built this AI model called DeepSeek for $8 million. And ChatGPT spent like several hundred billions of dollars. And then they're asking for even more. They're still raising funds because they find it that they need more money to build the next better model. But if China can do that for $8 million, and here we are spending thousands of billions of dollars, and that's not just ChatGPT. Microsoft is doing it, Meta is doing it, Elon Musk is certainly doing it, and pretty much any other big company is probably doing it one way or the other. So we're spending tons of money, and here we have a competition who is able to do it for like pennies. So you look at that and go like, oh my God. So what happens if we get rid of H1Bs? I mean, all of a sudden, instead of spending thousands of billions of dollars, we're going to spend two thousands of billions of dollars. Like, the cost is going to go up. Is that what you want? Is that how we're going to make America great again? Is our strategy going to be is to increase the cost, increase the inflation, get rid of the talent, get rid of the good companies here in the United States? Is that how we're going to compete with China? I think you would agree that's not a good strategy. I think in order for America to be good again, we do need an H1B program. Now, are there problems with it? Sure, there are problems with it. There are problems like you know some people abuse the program. So can we make it a little bit more stricter? Can we find people who are abusing this program and penalize them? Certainly. So that might happen. Then the other problem is maybe not everybody on H1B is getting fairly paid. So can we increase the salary? Certainly, that can also happen. So those are the things are possible. But getting rid of H1B or sending people back or reducing the number of H1B, I don't think that's what Trump wants. I think at this stage, Trump wants innovation. Trump wants talent. If anything, I think he might increase a number of people here. He might increase H1Bs. He might get rid of green card caps. He might eliminate the per country cap. He might even take some visas from other categories and push them into H1B. He might even make it a little bit easier for people to qualify for green card. At least the people he qualify as talent. Again, that's a very somebody doing something else other than IT can be just as talented. It's the question is not whether you're talented or not. So I apologize if I offended some people here. The point is what kind of talent the country needs. Sometimes you need engineers, sometimes you need doctors, sometimes you need construction workers. Need of a country changes. And today's the need of United States is people who can build technology, who can deliver innovation. That's what they're looking for. And I think H1Bs are going to see a strong demand. Second thing is, what does Trump want? Trump wants people to bring their companies back in the United States. He wants to reduce the number of employees working for the government. And if he does that, that is going to look very bad for employment data. And when bad employment data comes, it looks bad on stock market and it hurts the overall economy. He doesn't want that to happen. So he's going to offset the number of people he will reduce from the government and by increasing the number of people in private sector. So how does he do that? He brings the manufacturing back in the United States. So when more manufacturing here, more companies are built here, more people bring their business back here, guess what? They need more talent. Again, more demand for H1B. So I think even that goes in support for H1B. So I don't know how people are getting the idea that Trump is going to do what he did the first term. I think that's just a memory people have. But I think this time around, Trump is going to be quite different. All right, so that's my opinion about the immigration. So let me talk a little bit about Canada, though. So obviously, a lot of people come from Canada, and they're my clients. They come here, they start their business, or they might go work for somebody and whatnot. And there has been some chatter around what will happen with the immigration and the U.S. Canada policies and all that kind of good stuff. So I have some opinions about that. Um, we do what this is what we do know. We do know that once Trump got elected, he made a statement that he's going to increase tariff on Canada and Mexico. And that got both of them to thinking, what can we do for Trump to avoid this? And that is exactly what Trump wants. Um, I mean, he wants other people to come up with an offer. Hey, what can we do? And we saw that, within a week, Justin Trudeau were here in the United States at meeting with Trump, and he went back and he changed his immigration policy. He made this, border management, you know, a little bit more stronger. He went there and said, "Look, I want to make sure that no illegals are entering in the United States." So I think that is one change that you're going to see. It will only get stronger. It will make it harder for people to cross over borders from China and Mexico. So that's number one. Number two is the legal immigration. What about that? Well, a lot of people come to Canada because they think that it's very easy to get E2 visa, or even for that matter, TN visa and come here and do whatever you want to do, because these are temporary visas. You do what you need to do and you go back to Canada. Honestly speaking, I like those visas. So come here, set up a business, make money, do a job, whatever, and then you can go back. I wish India had that TN visa. I think it's a great concept. But anyhow, so those of you guys who do have access to it, what about you guys? Well, these policies haven't been touched for years. Is Trump going to touch them? Maybe. I don't know. He hasn't specifically said that, but he might, just because they haven't been negotiated for such a long time. So please be ready if something like that does pop up. So that can actually happen. So those of you guys who are watching me from outside the country, um, you know, is it a great time to apply for H1? I think so. I think you have more opportunities. I wouldn't be surprised that under Trump administration, if we see more H1B visas going to India. That's my belief, but who knows? We'll see. Now let's talk a little bit about what other options do you have, right? So EB5, as I've always said, anywhere, no matter where you are in the world, if you're thinking about investing in the United States and setting up a business here, generating employment, then you have an advantage because America wants to support you. America wants to encourage you guys to do that. So that's one option. I think we're going to see a lot of people start doing that again. And again, that's going to help our real estate. That's going to help with employment, and that's going to help set up more companies, generate more demand. So I think overall, I would expect to see more people applying for EP5. I wish Indian community take advantage of that, and certainly set up some more businesses. I think they can see good results from that. That's number one. And another alternative you have is EB1, right? So EB1 is also in great demand. So some of you guys might be already in process, whatnot. If you guys are interested, I can bring on a couple of people who have been through EB1 program and have them do consultation for rest of you guys who are looking at. Basically, EB1 program is for people who are a little bit more senior, who can prove that America will benefit from them getting a green card. So that's another venue that you can look into it, and that is all. You can do it yourself. You don't need a third party to do that, but it requires a lot of hard work, so it's not easy. But you can certainly do it. I know I have many clients who was able to do it. So if you need some help with that, definitely reach out to me, and I'll be able to connect you with some people who are, who can give you a little bit more guidance around that. So that's my feel for 2025 for immigration. So we'll talk more as more information becomes available. I'll do a couple more updates on financial markets as to where I think January is heading, but I'll do that in a couple of days. And then obviously we need to talk about taxes, right? It's going to be tax time in April. So can we still reduce taxes? Can we plan for 2025? Some of you guys made a huge wealth maybe in Nvidia or some of the other hot stocks. Uh, there are options out there. There are ways to reduce taxes. It's just question is whether you're willing to take the steps to reduce those taxes or not. And the first step is to do consultation. Without that, we have no idea. You need to be able to understand what options are there. You need to be able to understand the risk and reward, and you need to take some time. I encourage all my clients to never take a decision because of fear or greed. And the way to eliminate both of those is by taking your time. And you can take your time if you start taking action a little bit earlier. So if you are going to make good money this year, if you're going to be selling something, buying something, doing some major transaction, then definitely set up a consultation. I work nationwide, so you can meet me online, and I'll be happy to help you out. And if you're starting out a business and you want to figure out how to do that properly, I'm here to help. Thank you so much for spending your last 15, 20 minutes with me, guys. My name is Deepak, and I'm a tax code advisor. If you need to get hold of me, just go to taxcodeadvisors.com and you can connect me from there. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.